And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Hail Mary is located on the main drag in Cheviot, right on Harrison Avenue. They're in the Dora District. You can walk from bar to bar with your drinks, but you don't need to do that. You can just stay right at Hail Mary's. They got 27 TVs, a 9-screen video wall. There's not a bad seat in the house. They've got every sports package DirecTV offers, and all of the Cincinnati sports will be on the 9-screen video wall. They don't have a kitchen, but they do have food trucks on the weekends and randomly throughout the week. Brand new walk-in cooler, brand new draft lines. And not only do they pour the coldest beer around, but they do so in 32.8 degree frosted glasses. Go visit our friends at Hail Mary's in Cheviot. All right, Aaron, let's get this show on the road. There was no Scott Satterfield press conference today because of the bye week. That will resume next Tuesday, but Keegan was at practice today. I was doing the volleyball dad thing. He got to talk to Brad Glenn and Jamoy Mays. You had a chance to give that a look, so let's have at it.
Let's. Starting off with Brad Glenn. For those who didn't know, he's actually in the booth on game days. He is not on the sidelines. He described his role. He said he has a say in the game plan. He organizes and gets it all together, and then he helps out with the play calls during the game. He said that we had receivers in the game against Texas Tech with around 70 snaps. Hendo was somewhere in the mid to high 60s. Said that the offense played well because they practiced well. That's an ongoing theme with all of the coaches that talk. They have really made it a point to talk about how what you do in practice translates to games, period.
Yeah.
He said that Sorsby is getting more comfortable. The more practice he has, the more reps, the better he will get. Tyron Smith has been banged up, but should get better as he gets more practice. He says that you want to run the ball, but also you have to take what the defense gives you. And we ended the last game with 12 explosive passes. I don't know what defines an explosive pass, but that's a healthy
It's
stat.
usually 15 yards, 15 plus yards.
Oh, so it's those. Yeah. Okay. Manny Covey impressed on speed on the long screen, and he also impressed with how he performed with that many snaps. He said Sorsby has a calm demeanor. He is even keel whether he is playing well or not. Guys in the locker room respect him. He's a student of the game. Essentially everything you would want in a quarterback.
I agree.
I think all of Bearcat Nation will agree, actually. I think people around the Big 12 have been put on notice as well. Just saying. It said that Jamoy Mays is getting comfortable. The transition for him has been smooth, and said that they moved Tony Johnson around some in the last game, and you'll see more of him playing both outside and inside. As for Jamoy Mays, he said that this was one of the, I don't know if he meant one of the, it sounded like the way he talked, it was probably the biggest playbook he had ever gotten. And to get acclimated initially, he studied the playbook every single night and tried to do what he kind of did with his previous playbooks, which was to just figure out the base and then start to play add-on. Said that Sorsby extending the pocket doesn't change the way he plays, but it does change his mindset on trying to stay on the same side as Sorsby as he's scrambling around to try and help him extend the play. Said that Texas Tech was a cool place to play, but he was never really worried about the tortillas as they ended up on the field of play because the defense was actually the first ones out there, and so they would have to be the ones dealing with the tortillas on the field and not the offense.
I like the way he thinks.
That was a funny answer.
It's like the old like if you and your buddy run into a bear, I don't have to be faster than the bear. I have to be faster than him.
Right. And he, I guess that question kind of came on Keegan kind of asking where, like, comparing Texas Tech to different places that he had potentially played, and how Nippert, how it kind of ranked up against Nippert. I don't think he expected to hear from Jamoy Mays that he played at Alabama as well in an away game. So, said that this team continues to take things one day at a time, and that the connection on the offense is unbelievable, and he feels that they can beat this team can beat anyone on any given day. He said that
you've got an offense that can move up and down the field like they can. Like, yeah, it's anything is possible.
Should feel that way. And then he capped off the interview saying that with Corey down and knowing Sorsby can extend the play, he can continue to, or Sorsby can go to his side, Jamoy's side, and know that Jamoy's going to be there to make a play. So
I like the confidence. I think we've talked about, like, it looks like Sorsby is getting very comfortable with him as a kind of security blanket when he moves the pocket.
He has every reason to feel confident right now, with the way that he's been playing, with the way that he's been producing, and with the way that he's been making big plays in big moments for this offense.
Yeah. Good deal. That's really all we had for talking about Talkin today. We'll be back to your regularly scheduled programming next week. At some point in time here, I would guess we're going to get a Wes Miller press conference. Practice is a week and a half in. We have not been told to arrive to campus for a basketball media session. I am anxiously awaiting that opportunity, but it has not come yet. I know there are people who have been out there wondering. We don't know. We've been asking, and we've been told soon, but no specifics yet. So we're working on it. Yeah. The other big news, I guess, in college sports today is, it's important in that there have been rumors about this particular school because of their basketball prowess and because of their league that eventually someone would scoop them up. That has happened, as Gonzaga has committed to the Pac-12. Gives the Pac-12 a pretty good basketball conference. They're not going to be very good in football, but you've got Gonzaga and San Diego State have both recently been to Final Fours. Not a whole lot of leagues with two teams that have been to a Final Four in the past 5 years or whatever. But more importantly, I think we're going to still see a bunch of movement among the group of five. The Mountain West contacted Toledo.
Oh no.
Yeah, they contacted Toledo. But in terms of, because Gonzaga was a team that the Big 12, that Brett Yormark had kind of kicked the tires on. It was a school that, Big East fans looked at and thought, hey, maybe we could grab them. Now they are headed to the Pac-12. And I don't know. And now it sounds like the ACC is kind of stabilized a little bit, maybe a bit of a humbling for Florida State, who has gone from undefeated to, oh God, they're terrible.
No, they just have to reassess the escape route. That's all.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we might be at a place where the waters might be, and this is usually when things go nuts, but I don't know what else there is, Aaron. I don't know what moves there are if the ACC holds together for a couple of years. You know what I mean? What is left? The Pac-12 is gone. I don't see the Big Ten or the SEC trying to get any of the Big 12 schools, and the ACC schools are kind of glued together by this grant of rights that nobody has figured out yet how to break. I think we might be in the calmest at the top of the sport, the most calm whatever, realignment waters that we've seen in like 15 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess because currently you have in the ACC, 17 teams, I believe, with the SMU throwing off the even
18.
number.
Well, 17 and Notre Dame.
I'm looking at the football.
Yeah, well,
landscape.
Notre Dame is contracted to play 5 ACC teams a year.
Such a
so like a half member, and then they're in for all the other stuff.
Such a stupid.
I mean, honestly, Notre Dame, because of Notre Dame has to do something like this because everybody's going to 9 outside of the SEC. Everybody's going to 9 conference games. There's a lot less games available for Notre Dame to like get a spot. So they have to have a scheduling alliance. And of course the ACC is going to be like, yeah, we'll take a couple Notre Dame games on our schedule every year. So it's dumb, but like it makes sense for both sides, I guess.
So you have the American, who, if you're looking at teams in the American, because we don't know what's going to happen with the ACC. I'm with you. Until something happens, nothing's going to happen. That's
right. And nobody's taking any more schools from the American. It's not going to happen.
And because who would you take? Memphis?
Right. That's like
Memphis is in a weird place. Granted, they're upgrading their facilities, but Penny's only going to be there for so long. If he doesn't end up running himself out based on all of the sanctions and whatever trouble he ends up getting into. South Florida?
No.
Tulane?
I mean, Tulane would be probably the most likely one just because their academics are so good and everybody wants to have the kid that brings everybody's grades up.
Or you just want
bottom of the league.
You want that trip every couple of years to New Orleans, whatever.
Right. But I don't see anybody adding Tulane. So it feels like with this Gonzaga move off the table, UConn is the Big 12 and UConn have halted their discussions, or however you want to say it. So that's out for now. I look at the landscape and I just don't. When you look at the Power Four, the ACC's not adding anybody because they don't want to accidentally trigger something in court that says with Stanford and Cal and SMU or whatever, this is not what we signed up for. So I can't see them adding anybody. That's not going to change anything. The Big 12's not adding any of the AAC schools. And I don't think the Big 10 and the SEC want anybody from the Big 12.
They're all just waiting for the ACC to dismantle, and you get what you get.
So essentially, for as long as the ACC holds together, we're probably in a quiet period in realignment, which is the first time, like I said, in like 15, 20 years, if not longer, dating back to when Boston College and Miami left the Big East and kind of started this whole ball rolling downhill.
I guess that's why I don't think it's going to be that long. I think that they're going to figure out a way out of the ACC. I just don't think they had enough time to try and figure out how to get out of it. They got to that window where you had until August 15th, 18th, something like that, whatever that date was.
Yeah.
And that came and went. And then we didn't hear anything about the stuff that was in the courts anymore. We didn't hear. Nobody cared anymore because whatever you do isn't going to take place until the 2026 season at this point now. So I don't believe that we're going to be quiet for something's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. That's where I think we are.
We'll see. I mean, the ACC, the thing is this now gives them some time to figure out ways to try to appease Florida State and Clemson and North Carolina and Virginia and whoever else might have a wondering eye. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't think. I thought it was imminent 2 months ago. I just don't see. The other thing is, I wonder how much of this is Florida State just realizing, oh, well, the Big Ten doesn't want us, and the SEC doesn't want us, and we are not as attractive as we had envisioned being.
Well, when you start off 0-4, that doesn't help your cause whatsoever.
Sure. Right.
But I do want to say, I'd applaud if there wasn't a child sleeping on down here. But huge hat tip to the Pac-12 to going from, I think you're all the way dead. What are you even doing? Oregon State, Washington State. We're having a wake out here in Vegas, open bar. We're celebrating the fact that we need a drink. And now they stayed alive. Somehow, some way, they found a way to stay alive. They are not the power that they once were, and I think that that's okay. But they have found a way.
Well, you were going to be nothing.
Right.
You were going to not exist anymore. So at least they will exist. Hat tip to them. Good on you. All right, that's going to wrap it up. We'll be back to take a look at the Big 12 tomorrow night. Also, the BCJ pod. We'll see you next time. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!